In this explainer, we're going to break down vibe coding. We're taking it from this fuzzy, abstract idea and turning it into a concrete, learnable skill set that's all about high-velocity development.
So let's just dive right in. What even is vibe coding? Well, the key thing to get is that it's not about a specific framework or some hot new language. Like you see here, it's really less about technique and way more about mindset. It's a fundamental shift in how you actually approach building software. Okay, so let's get into the first core competency. This one might feel a little counterintuitive because it really challenges that traditional architecture first dogma that so many of us were taught. It's all about moving away from perfection and just focusing on progress.
And you can see the contrast right here. On one side, you've got the classics, right? Perfect architecture, clean code, solid principles. But vibe coding flips that script. It says, build it first, then make it better. It's about making a conscious choice to write temporarily bad code, all in the name of gaining momentum. So this is a really critical question you have to ask yourself. Vibe coding absolutely demands that you're okay with writing code that isn't perfect for a little while. Knowingly taking on a bit of tech debt to get moving and see if an idea even works. If you can't let go of that need for perfection at every single step, you're not going to find the vibe. It's that simple. Now, all this talk about speed might sound a little, well, reckless, right? And that's where our second competency comes into play. There's a really fine line between moving fast and just creating a total mess. This is all about walking that line through what we're calling controlled chaos. And let's be crystal clear about something. This quote here, it hits the nail on the head. This is absolutely not a license to be sloppy. It's not about blindly trusting whatever your AI copilot spits out and just, hoping for the best. In fact, it's kind of the opposite. To control the chaos, you have to have a deep, almost intuitive grasp of the fundamentals, the stuff you see here. The real test isn't, do you know what these are? The question is, can you instantly recognize when something is just fundamentally wrong? Because without this solid foundation, your vibe isn't a vibe at all. It's just a blind flight straight into a wall of complexity. All right, our next competency is all about the interface between what's in your head and what the machine does. It's about how efficiently you can translate your thoughts and intentions into actual working code. And this number right here is key, 50%. In our modern development workflow, especially with AI copilots in the mix, this represents a huge chunk of your effectiveness. And that's because, well, half the battle is just being able to precisely describe what you want. Doesn't matter if it's to a teammate or to an AI. Can you break down a complex feature into small, clear steps? Can you write a debug prompt that gets right to the heart of an issue? That ability to formulate your thoughts clearly is a core skill. And that brings us to our final two competencies, which I'm going to lump together because they're really just two sides of the same coin. Decision velocity. This is all about momentum. It's your ability to learn, decide, and ship without getting completely bogged down. So think about this for a second. This is a serious question because the first piece of achieving that velocity, well, you don't learn it from watching tutorials. This is a skill that is forged exclusively by the act of building things. The only path to mastery here is through reps, just pure output. The goal is to be output-oriented. So think about small, contained problems that force you to go from zero to finished fast. A simple API, a little command line tool, whatever. Trust me, you learn so much more by shipping one tiny thing than by studying for a week. And the other part of that velocity is this idea of making good enough decisions. This is what really ties everything together. It's about having the mental ability to avoid those endless tool comparisons, resisting that perfection limbo where you're just too afraid to commit to a path. It's having the confidence to just make a call and move forward, even when you don't have all the information. So let's bring it all home. At the end of the day, vibe coding isn't some mysterious talent you're born with. It's a concrete skill set built on these 5 pillars you see right here. It's about mastering iterative thinking and always choosing pragmatism over perfection. It's about having rock-solid debugging competence so you can manage the chaos. It's honing your ability to clearly formulate your thoughts into code. And finally, it's building that muscle for making fast decisions to keep your velocity up. You combine these, and that's when you really unlock incredible speed and output.